Hey YouTube, I've been watching other videos on the subject of the replacing the Vibe blend door actuator, and I'm not happy with the other videos that have been put out. I think people were making videos while they were doing the repair, and this video is going to be after I've done the repair and the lessons I learned. And I think there's a better way, or an easier, simpler way of describing how to do this process than what you're seeing in these other videos. You don't need to take off the front dashboard to do this repair. You can do it through the glove. You're going to disconnect two cables. First, this cable right here that has the big white connector, you're going to disconnect it. That's the connector for the fans. Remove that cable. Then you're going to remove the connector, the blue connector. That's the cable that goes to the blend door actuator, that little blue cable at the end. Now the reason we're removing those two connectors is because you want your hand to be able to go up the side of this thing, up here, so that you can reach this bolt that's up here at the top, where you can get your thumb and your middle finger and your pointer finger around in this area to manipulate a tool. You need to be able to put your hand like this. It should fit like a glove in here to access that area. So that's why you've got to get rid of both connectors. They've got to get totally out of your way so you can have an easy time of getting your three fingers out. Okay, as mentioned in other videos, you're not going to be able to see the screw head, the fastener head, when you're trying to unscrew this. It's way up there. You have to do this by feel. You have to, I would recommend you sit in the front passenger seat and start by, without any tool, just get used to the landscape up there. Stick your hand up there, make sure that all the cables out of your way, and just kind of familiarize yourself with the landscape and prove to yourself that you can get your thumb and your pointer finger and your middle finger up in this cavity, because you're going to be operating a tool to try to undo this top fastener, and this is just representative of what the fastener is. So again, take your time and become familiar with what it's like to stick your hand in this narrow cavity and be able to get all these fingers up there so that you can operate the tool. Okay, so there are YouTube videos on this repair that are suggesting that you use this sort of situation to loosen these screws. And then they will say, well, you can't fit the this up in that cavity. You've got to just use this little thing here to and get in there and torque it and unscrew it like this. Well, I found after several hours of trying that it's too hard to untorque the screw that's up there at the top with something like this. I do not recommend that you use this to try to unscrew these screws, especially the top one. Rather, this is exactly what you should be using to unscrew and screw in those fasteners. It is a wrench, a mini wrench, about 3 inches long, and you want that round end right here, 7/32, or 5.5 millimeters. Craftsman makes these, other places make these. You can buy them in a set, as part of a set, and spend a lot of money, $20 or $30. Or you can buy just a tool like this on eBay, borrow it from your neighbor. That's what I did, but I highly recommend that this tool, the 7/32, use the round end with 12 points, 15-degree angle, and use this tool to try to undo these fasteners. Now we're going to talk about this more in a minute, but the next thing you want to remember to do is tether the hand tool that you're going to use to undo these fasteners, especially when you try to access the fastener on the top. You want to have it tethered. You want to have your tool tethered so that if you drop it up in there in the glove in the cavity of the glove box, you're able to easily retrieve your tool instead of losing it, which could cause damage, or spending a lot of time trying to find it. So do yourself a favor, tether your hand tool before you try to use it in this time. There are lots of different companies that make this part. I used or bought, and I'm using this one for my new part. There's plenty of other choices as well. You can get them from a cart part. Okay, now you've disconnected both of the connectors, both the white one and the blue one. You've unfastened both fasteners, the one on the bottom and the one on the top, you've pulled this thing will probably fall out, or you've pulled it off the car. You've got a loose, now you're ready to put your new one. My Vibe does not have 3 pins that I guess some cars have to help align this thing. A pin here, a pin there, and a pin there. My car does not have 3 pins. It only has 2 posts for 2 fasteners. One here and one there. And then the doorknob, this fits over the doorknob of the blend door actuator. So I recommend that you focus first on getting the doorknob, getting this over the doorknob part of the blend door situation, and then just do the bottom screw right here. You can do the top screw if you want, but it seems to me if this thing is fitting on tightly and you have one screw there, there's no way that thing's going to come off. I went ahead and took the extra step of putting a little bit of tape right over in this area right here, a little bit. You're going to turn the recirc light on before you start the repair. You're not going to take off the front dash to access the blend door actuator. You can do it through the glove box. Remove the door of the glove box. Remove those 2 connectors for those 2 cables. That would be the big white fan cable and the small little blue cable that connects to the blend door actuator. You're going to practice a little bit, getting your hand up there till you can comfortably get your thumb and your 2 fingers in play there on that top screw. You're not going to use those other tools. You're going to use a 3-inch long, 15-degree circular end, 7/32 or 5.5 millimeter mini wrench, and you're going to slowly torque the top screw. It'll come out if you just keep on doing it. Not a problem. Within a couple of minutes, you pull off the old one, put the new one on, focus on keying it first.